Damn, son, where'd you find this?
FlyPod.
Welcome to episode 99 of the Fly Route Podcast. I am your host, Anthony, aka Tony Playboy, aka the number one picker, and I am here with the guys. Y'all got any AKAs for yourself today?
Man, it's T.O. Y'all know Twig Street, baby. No more. No offense coordinator needed because our season is over. So
it was needed.
AKA coordinator needed. ASAP.
Hey, it's Cliff, aka the Glove, aka will we have another Cowboys first round exit this year? I ain't gonna hold my breath.
Dang, you down on the guys already?
Hey, look, if you expect disappointment, you can't be disappointed. They're not gonna get me this. They're not gonna get me this year.
That's a good quote.
If they win, I'm like, bet we good. Nah, especially after that last performance. But I ain't gonna.
Agreed.
Sam, no AKA this week. I'm just excited for the playoffs, excited to talk football with y'all, so we can get into it whenever.
All right. Look, we have an exciting show for y'all today, but first, make sure you like and subscribe wherever you are listening. We're going to give you our reactions to Black Monday, our official playoff bracket challenge, and a lot more.
The Fly Route Pod. The Fly Route Pod. The Fly Route Pod. The Fly Route Pod.
All right, this week we are starting with my favorite way to start the show, the tee off.
Ooh, spill that tea, sis.
This is where I spill some tea on some of our favorite athletes, or in this case, organizations, and the crazy situations they have put themselves into. We got to talk about the Houston Texans, y'all.
It's
all
nice.
Right. They are on their third coach in 3 seasons. They have fired Lovie Smith after 1 season. They fired David Kelly after 1 season. Romeo Crennel did not finish out his season, all while never really doing anything to put together a winning team with these coaches. Does anybody smell anything fishy with this? What's up?
This is all a front. That's all it is. Like, hey, yeah, we gave it a try. We just literally gave 3 black coaches a chance, right? That's what they're saying. I'm sure that's what they're saying. But it's all a front just for them to be like, go out and hire a guy that they really wanted, like Josh McCown, with no coaching experience. So now they're finna pull up with this random coach out of the woodworks, like a Nathaniel Hackett, who was all like, I don't know about this. And then we see what happened to him too. But which that might have been rightfully so, because that was bad. But the Texans, yeah, they just, it stinks over there right now. I don't know what's it stink over there.
I mean, look, we know they wanted to hire Josh McCown last year. It was the talk of the town, and then the whole Brian Flores lawsuit happens, and it's like it would be a real bad look in this situation to hire someone not with no NFL head coaching experience, not with no NFL coaching experience at all, not with no college coaching experience at all, literally no football coaching experience at all on a professional, semi-professional level ever.
You know what? Like, I can understand if it was like, hey, Tom Brady finna retire this year. Cool. It's Tom Brady. Like, we know this guy is legendary, right? Like, maybe, yeah, he haven't coached, but he clearly knows how to win and to lead a group of guys. But for somebody like a Josh McCown, who, I mean, I ain't talking down on him, but you know what I'm saying? Like, he ain't like no generational talent type of guy that's just been a guy in the NFL either. So I just don't understand.
Yeah, I just trying to make sense out of why you keep giving these guys these one year roles. Like, were they trying to build the team? Like, what were you doing? And during that time you hiring coach after coach after coach, you're supposed to be building a team. But then you replacing the coach every year. You ain't never going. The franchise is pointless. Like, it really don't even make any sense, because you're not even firing coaches based off performance. You're firing them just to be firing him? How can you say this is your fault when you just got here? You didn't draft. This ain't your team. You keep giving somebody else's team, and then you like, all right, you didn't figure it out. We're gonna fire him. They're consistent as fuck. Just hired a coach, fired him, but there's no consistency in building an actual fucking team. So it literally doesn't make any sense. And this is why us as like fans and supporters of the NFL have had these questions of what are you even doing? Like this ain't even part of the game. But in reality, I guess we see it is.
You got to give a guy a chance, like to build, like you say, to build a program. Like you can't do that in one season. Like first of all, I don't even know if I got all the coaches that I want here. I don't know if I got type of players that fit my scheme that I'm trying to run. Like you said, like it takes time to do that stuff. Like it's not like it's going to happen overnight. Like at least 3 to 4 years at minimum, and then it's like okay, like. Still underperforming, no better than the first or second year, then okay, I can see something like that. But
and
a whole season,
that's the thing though. Like they didn't really want him as their coach, and I think like that was very clear. Like that was not. They were just doing it to do it. And the best part about this is Lovie Smith. No obvious confirmation, but Lovie Smith knew he was fired. That's why he went out there and won that game and tried to win that game and went for 2 to seal the game. And he knew he was done. Like Tom Pelissero, Rappaport were all like, yeah, he's been meeting with them, trying to convince them he's the guy. But everybody's saying it's one and done. The decision is made up already before he went into that final game.
That's insane, though. I'm not that's insane.
Like, bro, this isn't Nathaniel Hackett. You didn't get Russell Wilson. You had Davis Mills. You don't have Jared Jeudy and Cortland Sutton and like a defense that was like top of the league the year prior. And this year, like,
they never had it. You know who kept them on the map? Deshaun Watson. Kept them relevant. I'm looking at their record. They haven't won 5 games since he stopped playing for them.
Insane. Their best player was Brandon Cooks.
In 3 seasons, they haven't won 5 games.
Stopped playing.
Brandon Cooks is their best player. Yeah,
and he been won it out. He won it out the trade deadline.
He already knew what time it was. We just tanking. That's
what I'm saying. He a veteran. He like, I'm wasting my career. You got me out here just playing football. Like,
literally.
playing football.
I'm out here for fun, literally.
He said playing football.
he out there running cardio.
I'm getting paid, but for nothing.
That's facts. That's facts. All right. So honestly, it's gonna be hard for me to see someone wanting this Texans job. Like, unless you're Josh McCown, who they've been kind of thirsty for you for a minute, it's gonna be hard for me to see someone wanting this Texans job, feeling like this is an organization that doesn't have their stuff together and is very temperamental with their coaches. So, like, that is why they are just like, I thought they might be the worst run organization in the NFL right now.
That was a diversity stunt, but what's a diversity stunt if the man don't even make it the whole 2 years, like one season?
It's a stunt.
Okay,
they wanted you to know it was for real a stunt. That's what it is. They're like, yo, man, we ain't doing this for 2 years. Hell no. Shit, this one was enough. All right, y'all. That was the TR.
Ooh, spill that tea, sis. Spill that tea, sis.
All right, so we are going to move right into the RPO with TO.
So this first one here is for Sam, and honestly, it's pretty serious. This guy's had multiple concussions this season. Like, not saying that, I don't know his situation health-wise, but from the outside looking in, it's pretty serious, and he might need to consider retiring. However, are the Dolphins dead in the water without Tua, Sam? What do you think? Run a pass.
I'm going to run with it. I think this season they are. Maybe if Tua can get back healthy or next season they can find a replacement. They have all of the offensive weapons where you shouldn't need a really elite quarterback. You just need someone that can get Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle the ball. But up to this point, Teddy Bridgewater hasn't been able to stay on the field, and I don't think Skylar Thompson is it in terms of competing against Buffalo in the playoffs. So for this season without Tua, I think they're dead in the water. But but provided he can come back next season or they have a whole off season to get someone integrated into their system, I could see them having like a similar like Brock Purdy type of success, just plugging a quarterback in to replace Jimmy G type of thing. But I don't see it this season, especially playing Buffalo in the first round. I just don't see it.
Agreed. I think they have a lot of options this offseason. If they really want to go after a quarterback, I mean, some really notable names out there. Like I said, Jimmy G, maybe Lamar wants to go down to Miami. You know, I mean, just think about that. That's a lot of speed out there. Potentially Tom Brady still.
Yo.
Geno Smith.
I mean, you've
was
already
really
been
good this season.
punished.
Yeah.
Like, you already been punished, so might as well.
But, man, you know, like I said, it's a lot of options out there for them this offseason. And then also, you know, there's always trade. You know, you can always trade for somebody as well. This next one, I'm going to go to Ant. So there's been rumors and speculations that the Bears can even consider drafting the quarterback at number 1. So would this have been the biggest mistake ever from the Bears franchise? Run or pass?
I'm going to run with this, but like, this is some of the most audacious, ridiculous nonsense that I have ever heard. Like, at this point,
serious, he took the glasses off.
Yeah, I'm like so flabbergasted that people say stuff this stupid. And like, it's clearly just for the clicks because it doesn't make any sense. This dude almost led the league in rushing, but we shut him down. Like, he almost broke the single quarterback season rushing record, but we shut him down. That's how prolific he is with his legs. And then his arm talent is clearly there, but he doesn't have the current weapons to show it off. You do not know what any quarterback in this draft will be in the league. People more frequently than not miss when they draft a quarterback. And not just kind of miss, they miss. They miss. Think about the top,
Zach Wilson.
Facts. The top 3 quarterbacks taken in the last draft. Well, 2 drafts ago, that big draft, Justin Fields draft. 2 of them you are not sure are any good. One of them you're positive is garbage.
That's true.
Like, yo, it doesn't make any sense to risk that type of gamble instead of build up the rest of your team with all the assets you have. Like, bruh, that's just so dumb. So, yes, it would be one of the biggest mistakes we'd ever made in the franchise because it just – what?
Agreed.
Yeah, like, nah.
Yeah,
I'm over
that. Definitely wouldn't make any sense at all for y'all to do that. I mean, this guy, like you say, his dynamic in rushing, and it's not even like it's on design calls. This man – it's like, hey, ain't nothing open, nothing downfield, and he's doing what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? And right now, honestly, it's kind of like without help at the receiver position for real. And if y'all decide, obviously, he's the guy that you guys should go forward with. Let's build around him, and we know his talent, so let's build around him. That's he should be the guy. That's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. So his next questions here is for Cliff, who. He already seemed like he a little iffy about this upcoming game against the Bucs and Tom Brady. So, Mike McCarthy, will he be out of a job if the Cowboys don't make it to the Super Bowl? Run or pass?
Jerry Jones tried to come out and say that he was fine no matter what happened in the playoffs, blase. I'm not hearing that because if you go into the first round again and lose again to Tom Brady and the Bucs, who I hate this first round matchup. I'd rather honestly see anybody else. I'd rather see anybody else just because.
You rather see the Niners?
Yeah, I mean they got us out the way last year, so I mean. I mean, that rookie out there playing really well at Q, and it's Tom Brady. Who wants to see Tom Brady in the playoffs? Like I get
That's
it.
a
Like
fact.
I still
First
don't
round
think
too.
I still don't think that team is a good team overall. I still don't. But I don't want to play Tom Brady. Like I just don't. Like, and I think if Mike go out there and shit the bed, you gotta consider it, man. Because what are you doing with the talent? Like you've had time. See, now we're back. Oh, you made it to the playoffs. Made it to the playoffs. Made it to the playoffs. I don't care. I've been seeing us make the playoffs multiple times. We'll have a year where we don't, and then we're back in the playoffs next few years. Like, but we out in the first round consistently. Like we haven't. It's just you gotta at least make a championship game. Like give me there.
NFC. Yeah, at least
give me
NFC
there.
Championship game. Yeah,
give me there. So I think you got to consider it. I mean, especially for a guy that's already taken the team to the Super Bowl and won with the Packers and them. And honestly, they was talking. I think it was today that was the Dez Bryant. He should have caught it against the Packers. That was our year. Look. I'll be honest. That was it. We got robbed on a call that would have been a catch. That changed everything, and we lost to that motherfucker again. So we can't beat that guy. Tom Brady's gotten us out the way the past 2 times he played him opening the season. So Dak said, "We'll see you again," and now we got our chance, and we're gonna see how they act. But that showing on Sunday was bad. So I ain't even gonna elaborate on that.
I mean, the big thing is too, like you said, like we bring up the whole Packers stint, right? He had a stint with the Packers, and I mean they had some pretty good teams, and we already know what it was for them. We know at that time they was damn sure gonna make the NFC Championship game, and that was it. So we seen him as a head coach, and plenty of instances where like, hey, like we gonna have some success, but we ain't gonna get you all the way there. Like I'm not the coach that's gonna get us over the hump. So I definitely think I agree with you there. That if he don't make it to at least the NFC Championship game this year, I don't even know if that's enough to save him. But for me, that's why I posed the question at Super Bowl, because I think if he don't make it to the Super Bowl, then that's his ass.
Hey, Tio said he running with it.
Hey, on another note, a lot of coaches that we figured was on the hot seat this past season got the boot too. So, but I know we talk about it later. But next question here, just for everybody to chime in a little bit. So, just want to hear all y'all thoughts. So, with OBJ still a free agent, and now sources have it that DeAndre Hopkins is available for trade, would it be a better option to trade for DeAndre Hopkins and take on his $20 million contract as opposed to signing OBJ, run or pass? That's a tough question.
Who is that? Is this for like the field or a particular team?
That's the field. I need to know if y'all, each one of y'all, are you running or passing with that? You gonna trade for D-Hop or you gonna sign OBJ?
I'm running. Give me Nuke for the $20 million. I feel like that's a sure thing. And I don't know, like if OBJ had come back at the end of this regular season, I had seen something, maybe I could go the other way. But I have no idea like what he's going to look like. And DeAndre Hopkins looks amazing despite the Cardinals being horrible. So I'm going to go D-Hop.
Yeah, I got to go D-Hop, man. I feel bad saying this because OBJ is such a ridiculous talent. But like, we know, like Sam is right, D-Hop is a quantifiable player at this moment, what he looks like. But also, D-Hop is one of the only quarterbacks one of the only wide receivers that feels quarterback independent. Like,
yeah,
that just different. It's just different. He feels quarterback independent. He's gonna put up numbers.
Yeah, he don't care who he's playing with. He listen, get me the ball.
It gotta be D-Hop. I mean, you ain't seen Odell play for an entire year. I mean, it's just tough, especially after. I mean, we know how he was playing before then, and I wish he would have came back early in the season. But he said he would be ready for playoffs. So playoffs are here. I wonder if there's somebody that needs him or would risk signing him right now, not knowing. I think it's pretty far fetched to think that he's gonna just show up in the playoffs.
I mean, if he was healthy and he came in and passed the physical, maybe. But that's still a big if he's healthy because nobody knows, right? But I would definitely agree with y'all. Like I'm going D-Hop here, even this season, coming back. Even with guys like Justin Jefferson tearing it up, and he came back after missing a couple games, and the man just looked, unstoppable. So, even at the age of 30, he'll be 31. We know at least, honestly, I'm not gonna lie, for the next, I would say personally, for the next 2 to 3 years, I think we can get the same production out of him.
He also wants a new contract, though.
Yeah, what are you willing to give up for him?
True. I think like a second and fourth. You got to pay him $20 million, so I got to take on his contract. I can't give you no first. First of all, when y'all got him, you didn't get a first. You didn't trade a first for him.
All right. That is
30. That's insane.
That was they gave that man away for nothing, though.
I think that was just Bill O'Brien disrespecting that man. Like,
yeah.
We
ain't got to be bad because Bill O'Brien was bad. That, I strongly believe that we ain't got to be bad because Bill O'Brien is bad. I strongly believe that. But yeah, you got to give him a new deal. Like if the Bears gave up a second and a fourth for him, I'd be happy that that's a move that we made. But who knows? But I'd be geeked. I'm not gonna lie. I'd be geeked that it happened.
The thing is,
second and a fourth,
you're not even pressed about him as far as his speed because we know he gets open. He gets separation. The route running is good, and he catches anything in his radius with 3-4 people on him. So, just to know you're getting that type of talent is, I feel like to me, it's worth all the value. Bill, if you listening.
Hey.
Bill, if you listening, go get that man.
Hey. Yeah, that's not gonna stop. Who's your offensive coordinator? Is it still gonna be Matt Patricia?
Hey, listen,
we call it 30 screen.
It's still no coordinator needed.
Now coordinator needed. Now we got a job posted. We got Indeed, all of that. There's jobs posted everywhere. And then our last question here for the field is: should Lamar Jackson should not play, run or pass?
Yeah, he shouldn't play. I'm gonna run with it. Unless he's gonna win the Super Bowl this year, I don't think there's much of an upside to him playing.
Agreed.
That's just the truth of it. He's in a situation where if he's actually still hurt and he plays through the injury, he's not gonna be Lamar. And it's a knee injury, and a lot of Lamar is moving around, being elusive, extending plays, using his you can hurt yourself worse, especially if you're not 100% out there. B, if you play bad, the Ravens are going to use that against you in contract negotiations. There's not enough upside to put yourself on the field.
Not worth it. Don't play. I honestly don't think they're gonna make it out of the first round anyway. Don't play, especially without him. So hopefully he just doesn't play this week and he don't even gotta worry about it and they out and keep it moving and he can see where his future lies. But he shouldn't play. He shouldn't force through it. He ain't practiced and don't know how long, and you coming out in a playoff game. Just it ain't worth it. You want it? They ain't pay you. They ain't do what they're supposed to do. They're going to try some bullshit and going to try to tag you. Nah, I wouldn't play.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I definitely agree that he shouldn't play, especially not being 100% healthy. I think the biggest thing, too, one of the biggest things, or one of the things that we should talk about as well or just bring up is that the Ravens are totally okay with him not being 100% and playing, that came out as well. Which is absurd. But we all know that's how these organizations feel. They want you to go out there and push through, no matter who the player is, how much we're paying you, contract negotiations coming up. They could care less about you being 100% healthy. We make this to the playoffs. They say, Terrell, if T.O. can go out there and play on a broke leg in the Super Bowl, you can come out here and play on a sprained knee.
T.O. should not do that though. But also, it's the Super Bowl. This ain't the Super Bowl.
Agreed.
We're talking the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah.
But that's still a pretty significant injury to, push through. So that's the only reason why I brought it up. But yeah, that's it for the RPO section, man. That was pretty good right there.
I bet we got Cliff with our players of the week from week 18.
All right, I'm gonna keep it short, sweet, simple. On offense, I'm gonna go with Keenan Allen. He had 8 for 102 and 2 TDs. He had a day, and it was good to see him get back to his normal self after being hurt a little bit and in and out of the lineup. For a defensive player, he just kind of went crazy. Josh Allen for the Jaguars had 6 tackles, 2 QB hits, a TFL, forced fumble, a fumble recovery, and a TD, which was the deciding play of the game. He had a fucking day. So those my week 18 players of the week.
Bet. So we got Sam, game of the week.
Okay, so a lot of these games all of them are good. They're all playoff games, so choosing game of the week was kind of tough. I have a honorary mention because I think that one game is going to be more exciting than the other, but the stakes of one made me go with it. So my honorary mention is the Chargers at the Jaguars. I honestly I think this is going to be the most exciting game if I had to pick one, just in terms of you got 2 young quarterbacks facing off in the playoffs that have had a lot of success early, squaring off against each other in Trevor Lawrence and Justin Herbert. You got coach in Brandon Staley on the Chargers, who's on the hot seat and kind of viewed as needing to win this game. And then you got a coach of the year candidate on the other side in Doug Peterson, who is not only secure in his job, but really looking like, especially at the end of the season, that he has the Jaguars playing the right way and with a lot of momentum. I mean, they kind of came out starting slow, new system, new head coach, Trevor Lawrence still getting adjusted, but really went on a tear at the end of the season, ended up winning the AFC South. So we'll talk about this more in the 5 fly, but I think the outcome of this game is one I honestly have no clue who's going to win. We did our little playoff prediction thing earlier, and this game gave me a lot of pause. So I think this is going to be a really good one. I think both offenses have potential to be really high-powered. The Jags defense has looked good late in the season. The Chargers defense has looked better late in the season after coming out and looking underwhelming when we expected them to look really good, like with the addition of J.C. Jackson next to Derwin and everything. So I think both teams are looking kind of at their peak strength or back in their peak strength at the right time. Like Cliff just said, Keenan Allen's looking like a real X factor out there. Again, Mike Williams is not going to play, right? Yeah, so that's tough. But regardless, I think it'll be a really good game. But the game of the week I ended up picking was the Cowboys at the Bucks. I just think with the brands that both of these teams are, the Cowboys and Tom Brady on the other side, the stakes of like Tom Brady's team being ass all year, but him getting back to the playoffs. And, like Cliff said, you never want to face Tom Brady in the playoffs. He just seemingly finds a way to win in these situations. And then on the Cowboys side, a lot of speculation about if they win this game or lose this game, is Mike McCarthy's job safe? Jerry Jones coming out and saying it is, but I mean, like you said in the RPO, it kind of seems like that is not the case. So a lot of stakes for both of these teams. And I just think that this game will be less exciting. Like, it has the potential to just be a big defensive battle because the Cowboys defense has looked great all year. The Bucks have kind of gone up and down. But their offense is looking a lot better, at least with the Brady and Mike Evans connection down the stretch. So I think this has a potential to be a really high stakes game, but in terms of how fun it's going to be, I don't think it's going to be as fun to watch as the Jaguars and Chargers game, but I think the stakes elevate it to that game of the week status.
Okay.
So
Okay,
yeah, that's it for the game of the week.
Vibes. What we have next is our playoff bracket challenge. I might even put the link in the description of the video and like in the description of the episode, because what we have done is opened up a challenge with an O, which is a website where you can do a bracket challenge. We have each filled out our bracket for the playoffs, and we are going to compare our brackets and talk about how we expect the season to end out. So we will start with the first place, where this is actually weird because I'm like on the bottom of a 3-1, is the Jacksonville Jaguars Chargers game. Everybody but me said that the Jaguars would win this game.
I went back and forth, like Sam said.
I did too.
That one took me the longest, and I honestly just went back, looked at their schedules, looked at recent play. They've kind of been the same team, like as far as like being really good and who are we watching? Like, and I think the Chargers have fought through a lot of injuries, and Trevor Lawrence has just fought through like coming to his own. And I think, like Sam said, it's going to be one of the better games. I just don't know. Like, I don't know who's going to win.
That's a fact. The first thing I thought about when I was thinking about that matchup, and it took me a minute too, I was like, hold on. Didn't the Jaguars bust their ass when they played earlier in the season? And then I went back and I was like, yeah, they bust their ass earlier in the season. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to lean this way, because I just feel like the Chargers, man, I just feel like they've just been a big disappointment as far as what we expected from them. And I just don't see them. Honestly, I just expect this is a game they're supposed to win, but they're not going to win it type of situation, personally.
Damn.
Yeah, I agree. I think Doug Peterson's going to outcoach Brandon Staley, honestly.
That's valid, man. I think the Chargers are just like a better team, and they kind of caught their wind at the right time. Like, the Jaguars have not looked great the last, game or two? Like, they won.
Yeah.
But they beat Josh Dobbs. Like, I like Josh Dobbs, right? But, like, it was like they played all that well on the offensive side of the ball, and I believe Justin Herbert will put up points. Trevor Lawrence has been a little bit off since he got that's a foot injury.
Toe injury,
yep. Yeah. But we will see. Like, that one I was all the way on the bottom of. So the other side of that bracket is the Cincinnati Bengals, Baltimore Ravens. Everybody picks Cincinnati. So like I think we can just move that one on. Like, we don't think it's anything real. It's a wash. All right. Bills, Miami. Everybody picked the Bills.
Wash.
All right, wash. The next place where there's actually real dissensus is the Dallas Cowboys and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It is a 2-2 decision here, with me and T.O. going for Dallas, and Sam and Cliff, who's actually the Cowboy fan, saying that Tampa Bay will win the game.
Is that who I went with?
Yes, sir.
This man.
I actually think
come
I put
get
the
y'all,
Cowboys.
man.
I swear I put the Cowboys.
You did?
I swear I put the Cowboys, but I did not have us going all the way.
I put the Cowboys.
Oh, then
I
if you
put
put the
the
Cowboys,
Bucks.
then it's Sam by himself with the Bucks.
Mm.
All right,
Brady,
then it's Sam by
man.
himself with the Brady.
Yeah.
Brady.
I had to think
the
about
Bucks
that one
aren't a
too.
good team.
I'm not gonna lie. I thought
No,
about
they
that
aren't. I didn't say the Bucks. I said Brady.
He said, hey,
Yeah.
look, and I was talking all that shit about my guys, but it comes to the bracket, I'm gonna pick my guys.
Okay, so you was fretting at the top.
And look, we're not done. Look, I picked my boys. Hopefully we can get that. Hopefully get that run. But like I said, expect disappointment.
I thought about that one for a minute, though. I ain't gonna lie to you. I thought about that one for a minute. I did.
Me too. I went back and forth because one thing I saw that was interesting is that the Bucks are 2-4 against other teams in the playoffs, whereas the Cowboys are 5-3. So you would think, because the Cowboys have played better competition better this season, and they're at home, right?
No, Bucks would be at home.
Oh,
They won
Bucks
the
are at
division.
home. Yeah,
They had a losing record.
But Hey,
I know.
Hey.
That division's ass. I know.
the Cowboys have benefited from one of a couple of those before.
Hey, not no losing record in the playoffs.
It was 8-8. It was 8-8. Chill.
500.
But yeah, the Bucks have been bad against good teams this year, so that did give me some pause. But it's the playoffs and it's Tom Brady, bro. So
Hold on, he can't go 8-8. It was 8-9.
I just mean back in the
Cowboys when
day.
they got to the playoffs.
Oh,
in a
look,
bad
hey, look.
division.
Hey, 500.
No. Okay, look, honestly, I believe that like if this game is just played out in a simulation where everybody does what they're supposed to do, the Cowboys should win this game like 9 out of 10 times. Can something happen because it just might happen because it's the Cowboys in the playoffs? Yeah,
It might.
it might.
They come out there like on that bullshit like they did last 2 weeks. I'm gonna turn the game off. I promise you. Come out there like I did last week. I'm turning the game off.
They played earlier this season. That's the game that Dak got hurt. But one thing I saw from that game is that CeeDee Lamb had 2 catches for 29 yards. So they were able to shut him down that game. So that'll be interesting to see how that plays out and what the Cowboys coordinators draw up to kind of counteract them shutting him down last time.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Okay. That's fair. This next one is the game that we all have unanimous, but I feel like it's actually the most likely one to go wrong, and it's Minnesota versus the Giants.
Yeah,
We all have Minnesota coming out of this game and winning it, but oh man, this game is honestly for all the marbles on Minnesota's season because if they lose this game, the fraudulent accusations. The accusations will be true.
Hey, look, and I picked them motherfuckers. I only picked them because they playing the Giants and they barely beat the Giants with a 60+ yard field goal.
True.
Now I think the Vikings are a better team. I do. But do I think they will come out and be fraudulent? I do. But I think they're a better team. They're a better team. They should win that damn game.
Yeah, if it's a close game, they should win. They've played really well in close games. They had the biggest comeback in NFL history this year.
What did I say?
Against the
What
Colts.
was last week? Would that be their biggest issue? Is a close game?
Yeah,
That's
but
what
against
I'm just
the
saying.
Giants, though, I think that the close game thing could play to their benefit. If they're trying to play a close game against like the 49ers, I don't think it's going to work out.
They're not going to play a close game against the 49ers, but I like Brian Dable as a coach, man.
Yeah,
You
he's
put
a-
Brian Dable in a close game, the way that defense shows up in the second half, look, but we all picked the Vikings. So,
Hey, just know if they lose a close game, I've been calling it for weeks now. That's all.
all right, that will be ridiculous if they win all their one possession games besides this one. That'll suck.
Timestamp 38
Timestamp.
minutes.
All right. The last game in the first round, Niners versus Seahawks. We all picked the Niners. Shout out to the Seahawks for making it. Shout out to Geno. Broke a couple QB records. That's cool. You're done now. All right.
And they got the Broncos' 5th pick.
Yes.
They made the
They
playoffs
already-
and got the 5th pick.
They already won.
Yeah.
Facts.
They don't need
Facts.
the
That puts us with Chiefs Jaguars. Chiefs Jaguars because it's like a 3-1, so I'm just on the bottom of that one. Chiefs Jaguars. It doesn't particularly matter.
Who chose the Jags?
No,
Everybody
he's saying
but me.
yeah, in the
Jaguars
first
would be the
round.
next round.
Oh, in the first
The
round.
second
Oh,
round would
Yeah.
be Chiefs Jaguars because everybody but me picked the Jaguars.
Oh,
So I'm
okay.
giving
Yeah.
y'all the Jaguars because that's just it makes sense. It doesn't particularly matter because everybody has Kansas City moving on
Better
from
say,
this,
I would
from
have picked
this
Kansas City over
round
either one of them. So
to the AFC championships. I think either game is going to be massive for the NFL. Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes, which they've already played that up a little bit, or Trevor Lawrence, Patrick Mahomes, like that's just gonna be hard. They're gonna be playing at Arrowhead no matter what. Like, I like that. I don't know if there's too much to talk about that game unless anybody feels spicy about it.
No, I
All
think
right.
you're right. It'll be great for marketing though, regardless of the opponent.
This is the spicy part because we are at Bengals Bills, which is a rematch of the canceled game. I'm not sure if this gets played at a neutral site or if it's not until the championship game, so it gets played in Buffalo. I'm not sure, but Bengals Bills, we all predicted this would be the game that happens. Everybody but me picked the Bills.
See, I could have went Cincinnati too, but I don't know that. I ain't gonna lie. The way the game started off a couple weeks ago, Cincinnati was looking real good. I ain't gonna lie to you, but I don't know. I just think Josh Allen, if he gonna get one, this the time. And the time is now. It's the best time.
Yeah, I feel like the Bengals are the better team, but I feel like narrative and story wise, everything that's just going on with the Bills, I just don't see I just see the story right now. Them coming out and beating the Bengals, the game that was supposed to happen. They just have the power of like the narrative on their side, even though I think the Bengals are a better team.
Are you trying to say the NFL is rigged, Sam?
No, I just mean that like sometimes these like non-football strategy things like carry a team, like extra motivation. Like when the Lakers won the year Kobe died, like that was like an extra little non-basketball factor, the narrative that was factoring in to maybe a little motivation. Maybe it's not a real thing, and it's ultimately like the fans and media that attach themselves to these things more than the actual players. But I just think storyline-wise, I can see it.
Yeah.
Josh Allen gonna have a Josh Allen type of day that day.
Josh Allen type of day this year is throwing picks in the red zone. Y'all gotta stop playing with me, bro. I've been saying this shit for like 7 weeks.
But then
Like,
he'll make a
listen.
ridiculous crossbody throw.
That's what I'm saying.
Like
It's always the most mundane throw. That's the problem. It's the routine. Like he's in the pocket, just right into some other dude's hands.
I mean, I didn't see
Yeah.
that a lot from my quarterback, so I mean,
But it's also the other plays too. That's like, okay, boom. I start rolling out to the right. I already had a dude that's crossing the field, and John Brown, who fast as hell, and then he just turned up the field, get behind the defense, whoop, touchdown. Throw it up to Gabe Davis, whoop, touchdown. Dawson Knox on some weird stuff, just touchdowns.
Like crazy jumping out of bounds. If the difficulty is on 10, I am positive Josh Allen will make it happen. Like it's when the difficulties are like 4 or 5 that he just does weird shit.
He does.
Like
He really does, though.
And those are the ones you can't give away.
yeah,
He make it look easy though, and it's ridiculous.
I agree with what Sam said. I think that the Bills just I do think that a team gets behind, their teammates and stuff like that. That was a really emotional time for them, and just not knowing what was happening with DeMar and but I do think that is added motivation for a team. I think they will rally behind that as a team. Is something that brings them closer and could have bearing on their emotions during the game, how locked in they are, how focused they are. So that I think is definitely something that impacts it. But I mean, this game, and it's crazy that I think they're going to end up playing each other again. And I think they should do it at a neutral site simply because it is them playing again this game that they should have played. You know what I mean? So I think that would be, ideal, but I think the Bills will come out, and it's going to be a great game, but I think the Bills will come out on top.
Yeah, that's gonna be a really good game.
Bro, I saw Nyheim Hines run back that kick first play of the game and was like, God? Like they
3 months after their last time doing it, and Hamlin wears the number 3.
Bro, that shit was. If he had returned 3, I'd have been like, I'm not watching this no more. I'm not doing this.
Hey, I was about done watching. I was sitting there like,
Hey,
I know you were sick.
and he still threw one of them weird old picks in the red
He
zone
did.
against y'all. Like,
did.
I'm just like, bro, I like Josh Allen. Josh Allen is amazing. It's just confounding.
Yeah, I'll say it. He's not better than Joe Burrow. I'll say it. I'm with you.
Why
So-
is it spicy?
I like the Bengals, but it's just me. The next round would technically be Philly versus the Cowboys based off of our vote, right? And it doesn't particularly matter because everybody had Philly winning this game. I think Philly Dallas is way more interesting than Philly Tampa, personally. Just like rivalry, like the ritual.
I mean,
of the
Tom
game.
got beef with the Eagles.
That's not even good beef though, because like the Eagles were like, "Man, we beat your ass," and Dallas is like, "Yeah, but you beat our backup." And then
Well,
Philly's
both.
like, "Yo, we beat your ass," and Dallas is like, "Nah, you beat our backup." So like the starting quarterback is playing
Yeah.
on both
For
sides
both,
for the
yeah.
first time this
Yeah.
year. Like, let's settle it. Let's settle it for the NFC, like to get to the NFC championships and lose to
Yeah.
the 49ers.
I
Like,
like that.
so I think that would be a big one. We have Vikings 49ers basically after this. Like everybody would also have the 49ers winning that game and beating the Vikings, which means that we think that Brock Purdy is going to make it to at least, like unanimously think Brock Purdy will make it to at least the NFC championship game.
Did y'all
Yeah,
see
Jimmy G
those
coming back.
stats that he's been like the best quarterback in the league since he came in like a bunch of advanced stats like QBR and a bunch of things. He's like number one the last 6 weeks or whatever.
Yeah.
That's
he,
insane.
he ain't playing.
He's playing
Look,
good.
He's good.
Yeah, he's playing good.
And I
Really
mean
good.
their team is really good, so that helps.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Now, I mean, we can have this conversation now because we have some splits on what happens after this. Brock Purdy, people have set this bar at the Super Bowl, but I want to set it a little bit lower at the NFC Championship. Brock Purdy gets to the NFC Championship game. What happens with Trey Lance?
Trade him.
I don't know how much you're going to give for him right now. I think he ain't showed nothing. He's been in the league for 2 seasons now. I mean, it's obviously an
He's dropping him
unfortunate
too
injury.
high. Yeah.
I think you got to just let him rock. And if somebody becomes let him rock as the two. You can't change. He ain't done nothing to come back and be like, this is my job. You got to rock with Purdy.
It's politics.
Jimmy G's out. Trey Lance is the 2 until somebody needs a cue. And then,
See,
I mean, hell, keeping a number 2 help the Niners be in the position they in now.
I'm gonna give you a scenario. They make the NFC Championship game. I think Jimmy G's timetable is NFC Championship game. Jimmy G is gonna take over the starting role. Again, I think.
I don't think so. I
think they're gonna put it. You got to.
You think they do it just to stop the Purdy controversy, or they do it because they think that's how they win?
I think they're going to do it because they think he's going to give them the best chance to win. However, I do think Trey Lance, when he's healthy next year, is going to be his starting role to lose. Like Brock Purdy, like, hey, Mr. Irrelevant, we know what production we can get out of you, but we drafted this guy too high not to see what he can do. So there's just no way I see them not giving Trey Lance every opportunity to keep the job before they just give it to
So if
a
Brock
guy,
Purdy starts in the
Mr.
NFC
Irrelevant.
Championship,
But
you don't
I'm
think
saying
it
though,
changes anything? I'm asking.
there's no way
If
that
Jimmy G's not ready, let's say Jimmy
Uh-huh.
G's not ready, Brock
Okay.
Purdy starts. You still think this applies?
What if Brock Purdy wins the Super Bowl?
I don't want to go that far yet. Like
I
we-
kind of want to go that far.
we can, but I
said-
purposely set it an NFC Championship game because like it's real hard for him to win the Super Bowl. And you do shit else. Like you just can't. I don't
yeah, you
believe you
set the bar
can.
too high.
Yeah, but if you do it, hey, that's the. Hey, I think
Let's
it's his
just
job.
start there. Like, if he wins the Super Bowl,
Okay.
do they Nick Foles him or is it his job?
He's a rookie. It's his job.
Hey, no, we all think it's his job if he gets to the NFC Championship.
I
T.O.
don't
was the
think
only
so.
one that said no. So Sam said he wins the Super Bowl. Does he take it?
I mean, you still got a really good team surrounding him to where he was able to plug and play. So maybe you're looking at this point like it's the system, But does Kyle Shanahan also think, which is why they drafted Trey Lance so high, that he can elevate that system even more than a Brock Purdy? So I'm saying, hey, we drafted him number 3 overall. There's no way, because he already had to sit a year behind Jimmy G. He come in this year, get hurt. Okay, this guy, I mean, he played really well. But what I'm saying is, it's your job to lose. We already know what we got in Purdy. So if you don't,
If he wins the Super Bowl,
it's tough.
How
But
many
you drafted
games-
him too high.
How many games has Trey Lance won?
But he haven't played many. But you was drafting him number 3 overall 2 years ago.
That's another
Yeah.
point.
but the Super Bowl, you have a Super Bowl winning quarterback on your roster.
How many games Brock done played and won so far?
All of them.
5 or
Literally all of
6.
them.
5 or 6.
It's fi-
And he go
yeah.
if he go into the playoffs and make it to the NFC Championship game,
Tio said if he wins the Super Bowl,
Listen,
he said if Purdy basically
it's
has
politics.
never lost a game in his entire NFL career and wins a ring in his rookie year, he would say, "Nah, B, we gotta go back to Trey Lance."
Sometimes
unless you think you're the next Tom Brady, you drafted Trey Lance too damn high to not play him, and that's my only reason. That's probably the reason number 1. You drafted him number 3 overall.
I think it's gonna be a competition and Brock gonna beat him out because Trey's been on the field.
I do think you say it's
gotta
a
make it a comp.
competition,
You
but
gotta
it's
be
not.
Yeah.
It gotta be a comp.
But some competitions are fixed.
That's true.
And I think Tio was saying the competition is going to be fixed for Trey Lance, even if they call it a competition.
Up front, though, I think it'll be his job to lose. I think they're going to name him the starter when he's healthy, but then
Don't
it's
they
his
have
job to
to-
lose. That's what I personally think.
Don't they have to extend him next year or make the decision to year 3?
Fourth year option,
yeah.
I think it's what it's called. A 5th year option. Your 5th year option has to happen before year 4 starts. So during year 3,
So at the end of
So
next
that's
season.
tough because they would need to play him to decide if they wanted to do that. No, or would they ever use
true.
that option on a backup?
Bro, they drafted him too.
They don't have
That's what I'm trying to tell y'all.
His
they don't have to
contract's
do it at
different.
the beginning of year
Brock's
3.
is
They have to
different.
do
But
it at the
for
beginning of year
example,
4, before year 4.
Zach Wilson was drafted the pick before Trey Lance, and the Jets have said, "Fuck it." At that point,
He's proven
you know,
his ass.
Yeah,
Trey has not.
Yeah, he's proven that he's terrible.
but
Okay.
what did the Jets do with Zach Wilson? Just cut him, cut bait.
They said they're going to
yes.
keep trying with him another year, but I think his leash gets shorter and shorter and shorter.
This
I don't
is the same shit. This is the
said he was
same
gonna-
shit.
No, it's different because of the overall success of the team, right? Is a little different. But I think also they're not gonna outright call it Zach Wilson's job like they did this year. Zach is gonna walk into a QB competition on day 1. Tio is saying they're gonna do what they did
Against
this year.
Jimmy Garoppolo or someone.
Jimmy
They
should be
get-
out of there. Jimmy should have another job.
Oh, he's definitely leaving.
Yeah, he's gone.
He said, "I did my time. I came back, did more time." And,
Jimmy Garoppolo is going to go from competing for the job against Trey Lance. He's going to go move up one more draft pick and go steal Zach Wilson's job next.
Zach
Hey,
don't
I'm
have a
telling
starting
you.
job. Zach said he's gonna give any veteran quarterback that gets signed hell.
Hey, at minimum for Trey
Well, you
Lance,
just need to
it'll
make
be,
a routine play.
it'll be a quarterback competition at minimum for Trey Lance. But I think I said, I just think he's going to
Gotta
be
make
given
that.
every opportunity based on the fact that y'all picked him so high,
Where you took
and
him.
you haven't gotten to see his potential yet. You haven't.
That,
For example, in this case, we know Justin Fields' floor, but we don't know Trey Lance's floor. So
you know what
what
they
are we
should
going to get
do?
from Trey Lance, who's dynamic? We believe he's dynamic running the ball and physically, but can he
Brock,
put that on
Brock
the field
came
though?
in, Brock came in right away and just had it.
'Cause
Sometimes
he
you
was
just have it.
ready. How long is Trey Lance go? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, you know what they should do? They should
No,
tell
not
Brock
Cliff. It
Purdy.
was Cliff. I cut
Oh,
off
my
Cliff.
bad.
My bad.
He came in. Brock came in and was ready. And Trey's had this is he got hurt in early year too, but he's had games he played in and he hasn't looked good. Like
I agree.
you can't say he's looked Oh, no, he really showed. He hasn't had Justin Fields moments. I haven't seen any of those. I didn't see any of those, and I know he played a few games, but if we compare the amount of games he played versus Brock, I'm taking Brock. They probably played
Agreed.
close to about the same, about five games or so, and he's in his first few starts versus Trey, who's been in the league, had experience under Jimmy G, learned the offense, 2 seasons. Like I just a whole off season coming in, knowing you're gonna be the guy. It just don't really add up. I think it's going to be a competition because you have to, because they both young guys. They literally 1 year apart as far as when you drafted them, but 1 year apart when you drafted them. But
It's the history though. It's the history of first round picks. When you pick a first round pick that don't necessarily pan out, you give them every opportunity. For example, Zach Wilson this year.
Okay, but this is not the Jets.
It's
We
not.
talked about
they have
team
another quarterback.
that's
The Jets
ended
don't.
win.
The Niners do. The Jets don't.
They also built to win now. Like, even if you think you can get Trey Lance to a ceiling, how long do you think it's going to take you? Because Trey Lance was still behind coming into year 2, and he's not going to be able to have a full offseason of working to get back ahead like he did coming into year 2, because he's going to be rehabbing.
Yeah.
Bro, like, he's going to be rehabbing the whole time.
That wasn't no regular injury, though.
So ask yourself, how long are you going to be willing to wait for Trey
That's a
Lance
good
to hit
question.
his peak with a team like this? You got in C-Mac, you got Debo, you got a strong defense. Like,
Kittle.
this was the issue with trying to start Trey Lance over Jimmy G 2 years ago. It was just like, how can you look at these boys and say that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
As crazy as it sounds, and I don't know if they would ever do this, but I mean, it would make sense to pull Brock Purdy's side, be like, hey, man, we can't trade Trey Lance for nothing, so we're starting him the first 4 weeks and then trading his ass. And we're going to start you again after, but
You
we
could
got to
definitely see
get
that.
this dude
Let
some
him-
games.
Let him build his stock up a little bit, because right now, I wouldn't say you get much for him.
Yeah, but if
you
you
probably
start
get his-
him like 3 games and he looks good, then you could be like, well,
Right,
we don't
right.
need him, but
Right, exactly. I think, that would make sense.
Agreed.
That would make sense. You get something for him. You don't want to get nothing for that. Where you picked him at, you can't
Yeah.
get nothing for him. If he's not the guy, you know it during camp, then you better play your cards right.
You got problems.
You do.
You got problems. All right. So then that brings us to figuring out our championship games. We'll start with the one that everybody has like the unanimous matchup, and that's Philly Niners NFC Championship. And we are currently split 2-2 on Eagles and Niners. I have the Niners. Sam has the Niners. Cliff and T.O. have the Eagles.
It's
Right.
tough. That's tough.
it is. This one is so tough.
It was really hard.
Damn, you got love for the Eagles, my guy.
No, but I mean, I picked who I picked when I started the season, and I did some reevaluating, and my mind hasn't changed. So
I mean, but
the end outcome.
honestly, both defenses I think are really good, but I do think the Eagles do have the nod here based on their secondary.
Yeah.
I mean, Darius Slade, Bradbury, CD Deuce. I mean, and then they got some beef up front. So, you know,
They had 4 players with 10 sacks.
bro,
Bruh. They had
Their
the
defense
league
was
leader in interceptions. I mean, he was tied, but league leader
That's
in
close enough.
interceptions.
they're deep with D-line.
I mean, you're tied. You first.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
he. I mean, that team. Like I said, I'm not blind to it. That team is built to win right now, and they have a fucking top 10 pick, number 10 pick in the draft. Like,
Insane.
shit's ridiculous, bro. They
Yeah.
should be there. I don't think I picked them to win it though.
Yeah, man. I kind of believe in Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers and the way they like to play ball. It's like, at no point in time can I tell you that I think the Eagles are bad on any phase of the game, but I do think like the Niners are really good. The Niners defense, the Niners front is good. I think the Niners front might actually be able to contain some of the RPO stuff. And if you can do that, we know that Eagles offense isn't the same. I think Brock Purdy will do well enough. It'll be schemed well enough, and their run game will do well enough. And we're going to get presumably Debo back, right? And I think Debo's going to be wide backing in the playoffs. Like maybe not during the season because he's like, that's not necessary. But in the playoffs, they might hand Debo that rock and tell him to go handle business.
They're going to do it.
You put those two guys in the
CMC.
backfield, man.
Yeah. But at the same time, I just think that, I mean, on the flip side, you do have A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith,
And
they got
Miles Sanders and Jalen
Quez Watkins,
Everybody.
fast as hell.
Everybody.
So even if they are able to contain some of that RPO stuff, like we seen Mr. I'm him, and then you got Devontae Smith, who he's been playing really well too. So I mean, it's not like their passing game is subpar either if they're not running RPOs. So
yeah, and I think like you mentioned with the Niners D line versus the Eagles run game, I think that the Eagles D line will be pretty damn good against what the Niners like to do, and that's run the ball. I mean, if I'm the Eagles, I'm saying we gotta stop the run. You gotta stop the run.
They got to beef up,
and that's a hard ass thing to say against the Niners, but that's what I'm coming in there and saying. And you're gonna make the rookie beat you through the air. That's what you got to do.
Yeah, agreed.
For sure. I went with the Niners. Just to me, since they got CMC, they've just looked like just such a strong team, and they made such a good run last year. And I feel like they're even better this year. And I don't know. I feel like this is like the Eagles' first real run, and I've seen the Niners kind of be here before, so I gave them the edge. But I think this is good. If this game happens, it will be so good.
I just think it's a tougher task for Brock Purdy against that secondary versus Jalen Hurts versus the Niners secondary, for example.
Yeah.
I think they're both solid defenses, but
for sure. I just think the Eagles secondary, I definitely give them the nod.
Yeah. All right.
I mean, you got two guys that can go out there and lock.
And then
hello.
And then at safety.
Yeah, and then you got the slot guy, CD Deuce come down and cover somebody too. And
they got a secondary and they got a hell of a D line.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's why I gave them a nod.
On the AFC side, it'd be Kansas City versus Buffalo Bills, because I'm the only one that picked the Bengals. And hey, that's just what happened.
They could easily be there though. They could.
And we wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, and it's a split. Sam has Kansas City winning and going to the Super Bowl to play the Niners, and everybody else had the Bills. So that's T.O. and Cliff had the Bills coming out to go play the Eagles. Actually, both of y'all had Bills Eagles as your Super Bowl. Sam had Bills Niners, and I had
Chiefs
Bengals
Niners.
Sorry, Chiefs Niners. Thank you, Chiefs Niners. I had Bengals Niners. So
those are all really good matchups.
Yeah, he went all the way with the Bengals.
I did, bro. I think the
all the
Bengals
way.
are nice, man.
I don't disagree.
they are.
I don't disagree.
They are.
It's hard to pick against that man, Patrick Mahomes. But we know.
I don't know. He's done it before.
But we know who
That
beats
would
him. That's what I'm
be-
saying. I know.
That would be 4-0 if Joe beat Mahomes in the playoffs. He would be 4-0 against Pat the last 2
insane.
years.
That would be insane. I'm not gonna lie.
Players play when players play.
Hey, you
Hey.
gotta show up.
Hey, so that puts us at our Super Bowl predictions. The Super Bowl winners for us all. We got Cliff with the Buffalo Bills, T.O. with the Buffalo Bills, Sam with the San Francisco 49ers, and me with the Cincinnati Bengals.
Ooh,
All the way.
I think Joe Burrow coming back for it. Joe,
I like it though.
Joe nice like that, man.
He is.
Gen Z Tom Brady.
All right, so that would, I guess, by popular vote, we'd have the Bills as a pod, the Bills winning the Super Bowl. So that'll be very interesting to see. That is our playoff bracket. I will try to put the link in the description on YouTube as well as in the pod platform so you can fill out a bracket and compete with us to see who has the most accurate predictions for what the playoffs end up like. What we got now is the 5 fly with Sam.
So I'm just, instead of doing 5 games, I haven't even counted. It might actually be 5 games. But we're just going to go through all of them. We've talked about most of these games already. So I'm just going to go through the lines with y'all and hear y'all's thoughts. We know who are picking to win these games already, but we haven't talked about the spread yet. So with the first game, we got Seattle at the 49ers. The Niners are 9.5-point favorites. What do y'all think? We all had Seattle losing this game, but do y'all think they come within 10 points, or do you think the Niners run away with it?
9.5 is wild. Like 9.5 is wild and disrespectful. You know, like I don't like it. I think they'll look a little bit more competitive than that. I'm willing to say they'll look more competitive than that, and the Seahawks will cover the spread but lose by like a touchdown.
For context, they played twice this year. They are division rivals / opponents. The first game was a blowout. 49ers won 27-7. But the last game, which was December 15th, the 49ers only won by 8. That was 21-13, but the Seahawks were at home for that game. So they covered the spread the last time, but this is a home game for the 49ers, if that changes your perspective at all.
I can see them winning by like 10. I'm a rock with it.
With
Brock
the
Purdy
49ers to cover.
I'm rocking. Yeah, I'm a rock with the 49ers. As wild as it might sound, it don't really seem that wild because I know the Niners can put up points. So, and their defense is really good. So it's not like Geno finna go out there and carve them up. I mean, he been carving people up all season for the most part, but I just don't see Geno going out there and carving them up like that. So I'm a rock with the Niners.
Same here. I think it's gonna be a very similar game to what we saw last time they played.
Yeah, I'm with y'all. I think the Niners cover the 9.5, but I mean, I could see it being closer. We all have them winning, though. I just think at home, especially, and Geno just hasn't been. Geno was only able to put up 7 points the first time and then 13 points the second time. Like this Niners defense has just been different, so I got to give them the edge there, I think. The next game we talked about for the game of the week, this spread is really close. It's the Chargers at the Jaguars. The Chargers are 2.5-point favorites on the road. And like T.O. said earlier in the pod, they played earlier this year. The Jaguars won that game 38-10. That was week 4, I'm pretty sure. So they got the Chargers as road favorites, but not by much. They don't even have it as like a full field goal. So what do y'all think? I can't remember what the exact split was on this game. Do we all have the Jaguars?
Besides me.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I'm stand beside it. I got the Jags covering, man. I got the Jags covering this. I mean, I don't know. I just don't see Brandon Staley getting the job done. See Doug Peterson out coaching them. And honestly, the Jags, they've been having a couple guys that, have been showing, not necessarily saying like a Christian Kirk type worth, but they've been showing that, like, hey, with some guys like Evan Ingram, we all thought, hey, he might not be a guy like when he was in New York, dropping so many passes and, didn't really look all that good. But as of late, he's been coming on. Christian Kirk has been coming on. Zay Jones having a career year. I mean, Travis Etienne looking really good in his sophomore season. So even though he didn't play, technically like a red shirt, but I mean, they just looking really good. I mean, and hey, we did it once. Why we can't do it again?
Yeah,
I'm rocking with the Jags.
So yeah, I mean, this is the 3-1 because it's like, obviously, if you think the Chargers are going to win, you take the 2.5-point spread. You wouldn't mess with the money line or anything like that.
Yeah.
Didn't this Chargers, Brandon Staley's first year in the playoffs?
Yes.
Yeah.
No context. The no context is wild. Just the yeah. The no context is wild.
Look, he ain't been able to get over the hump. He finally got over the hump, and now it's gonna be a new hump to get over. And that's I don't think they're gonna make it out of the first round. Like I said, I think the game's gonna be really close, and they can very well win it. But like Doug Peterson been all the way there before, so I mean, I don't see it.
He taking his Jag team from the bottom to and they cream of the crop now. So I really see them winning that game.
Okay.
Yeah, me too. The next game, the line is crazy. The Bills are favored at home by 13.5 points. Do y'all think the Dolphins can come within 2 touchdowns?
No.
They finna walk the dog on the Dolphins.
No. Yeah, and I don't even think they have homeboy. What's his name? Teddy
Two Gloves.
Yeah, I don't even think they got Teddy Two Gloves, bro. I think they really out
Skyler.
here. Yeah,
Raheem Mostert ain't playing either. I don't think.
It's gonna get ugly quick.
Nah, they got their work cut out for them, to say the least. It's gonna be a tough night. It's gonna be a tough night.
Well, we'll just leave that one there then. The Giants at the Vikings. Vikings are favored by 3 at home. We all had the Vikings winning this game, but feel like it could bite us in the ass.
No, yeah. But the 3 though, I'll take the 3 all day. They did it already. I'll take that 3.
It's low enough that I'm not super concerned taking it.
You said 4 or 5. I'll probably not rock with
Yeah,
it.
I'm with you. Next game is Ravens at Bengals. Bengals are 8.5 point favorites at home.
Yeah, man, Jamar finna be gritty and all day out there. Take it.
Yeah, Jamar.
Yeah,
that's facts.
See a similar outcome as the Bills Dolphins game. I expect them to walk them.
Yeah.
Yes, this is General Surgency. This is actually live. We are live right now. We can see all your comments. What's popping?
Shout out my guy.
Yo.
So,
for the last game, for the Fly 6, there are 6 games, right? Yep. We got the game of the week. Cowboys 2.5 point favorites on the road at Tampa. This was a 2-2 split, I believe, right?
I like that. That can come down to a field goal. I can
running
see
with
this
it.
game.
Yeah. I got the Cowboys winning. 2.5 points is so comfortable. I ain't got to think about it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That's a field goal. They can do that.
Yeah.
I got the Bucks in that game. So is that a 3-1 for the Cowboys to cover?
Yeah, I guess it would have to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that is it for the 5 Fly. This week, we just wanted to cover all the playoff games since all of these obviously have massive stakes, implications, and then we'll keep doing that for the rest of the playoffs. We'll just talk about the lines for all these games rather than trying to fit it within the format of 5, because obviously there are going to be less games as we go along with the season, but we still want to talk, spreads and betting and everything, because that's a big part of what people are paying attention to in sports stuff. So, yeah, that's it for the 5 Fly.
Yep. Appreciate you. General Surgency said, "What's good, bros? Keep it up." Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right. We got up next the bouquet with T.O.
Yeah, so this week, since we're going to the playoffs, I wanted to actually bring up someone who actually isn't no longer playing, but he is a former Walter Payton Man of the Year. Gonna give it to Nnamdi Asomugha. So he actually is. He started a foundation to provide food, shelter, medicine, vocational training, scholarships, and literacy efforts to widows and orphans in Nigeria who have been victims of poverty and abuse. Asomugha also does an annual college tour with kids from the Bay Area and Los Angeles who can't afford to do it on their own. So most of those players' efforts on the children and increasing awareness and support nationally and globally. And, these are the ones whom kids should be looking up to, is somebody like Nnamdi Asomugha, which I'm sure, I should have looked this up as well, but I'm sure he's probably Nigerian since he's supporting Nigeria like that. But, definitely big ups to him, providing and giving back. It's what it's all about. Should have started off on the right note, but, too many times in the media, our players and athletes are pretty much put in the spotlight for the malicious things that are done. But on the podcast, we want to spotlight them and give them a big up for the things that they do for the community, using their platform for positive movement and just showing out for the community. So definitely big up to Nnamdi Asomugha and to keep it up and keep leading the way.
All right, that is it for episode 99 of the Fly Route Podcast. We appreciate everybody that's listening, whether it's on YouTube, Spotify, Audia, Apple Music, Facebook, Twitter, it doesn't matter where. Shout out to all of y'all, and we cannot wait to bring you episode 100, the big 100 next week.
The Fly Route Pod. The Fly Route Pod. The Fly Route Pod. The Fly Route Pod.